Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, we're talking some boxing, man. We're talking some boxing. So, Amir King Khan, uh, he stated to Ring Magazine's interviewer, Cynthia Conte, that he believes that Terrence Crawford is that good that he would be able to beat Floyd Mayweather. And I gotta say that Amir Khan was so impressed with Terrence Crawford, how he got his timing down, was able to really time Khan and beat him, that he said that about Terrence Crawford. And I think seeing that Amir Khan faced Terrence Crawford, and none of us have faced Terrence Crawford, that Amir Khan is entitled to say that. Again, someone saying that they think one fighter that they faced, would beat another fighter. Seeing that they, especially, you see, what a lot of people don't get is guys who sparred guys who fought guys, they know the inner dealings, the inner workings of the guy they faced. So while it's really better if a fighter faces another fighter, or both fighters that they're talking about, the fact that they even have some knowledge on one of the fighters because they faced them, whereas we as fans are looking from the outside, we've not faced anybody, um, gives Khan more credibility than we could ever have. We could have opinions, but our opinions would never be based on the fact that we actually faced the fighters concerned. So Amir Khan was very impressed with Terrence Crawford and how he fought him. And I believe because as a result of that, he said the statement that he did say. And it does well for sound bites. You know, anything that has Mayweather's name in it makes headlines. Um, it was just like what Errol Spence said, that as a champion, you know, um, he believes that he would beat Floyd Mayweather. Again, I see absolutely nothing wrong with Errol Spence saying something like that, or Amir Khan's opinion even. And I'll tell you why. And it's an honest opinion. I think that a lot of these young upcoming fighters have had Mayweather and several other world champions, outstanding world champions to look at. And so I can't completely doubt or deny or say, oh, no, Mayweather would beat this guy. That would be like buying into the legend of Mayweather. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that Terrence Crawford would beat Mayweather. I'm not saying that at all. But my point in this video is an Amir Khan faced Terrence Crawford. And for us to just be dismissive of his opinion, seeing that he faced Terrence Crawford, would be stupid and foolish. We don't have to agree with his opinion. We definitely need to respect it. And what Amir Khan's basically saying is he did not expect Terrence Crawford to be able to outbox him. And he said his timing was so good that he was able to time Amir Khan, that was the thing that impressed Amir Khan. And he didn't. He only said he thinks that Terrence Crawford will beat Mayweather. He thinks Terrence Crawford will beat any of the welterweights existing today, which is a huge compliment from Amir Khan, okay, to Terrence Crawford. I don't share that opinion, but that doesn't necessarily mean that my opinion is better than Amir Khan's opinion or anything like that. Amir Khan has more evidence on his side because seeing that he faced Terrence Crawford, even though he has not faced any of the top tier welterweights in the welterweight division, but he has faced Terrence Crawford. He also went on to talk about the Kell Brook fight and that Kell Brook's always there. I get the feeling that Amir Khan just wants to sample all the great fighters that he possibly could sample to say that he fought them. I I think that's where it goes with Amir Khan. Amir Khan has ducked the entire welterweight division. All the elite welterweights, he's not tried to face them. And it's funny to me because it's not like he's a Floyd Mayweather where he had been fighting generations of guys before and was hanging up his gloves. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna have a farewell fight and that's it. That's not the situation. KP from KC, salute. You hear Bomac on the boxing voice? No, I didn't. What did he say? So it is what it is with Amir Khan. But still, I think we should value his opinion. KP from KC says Thurman's called them out. They said they're not interested. Ooh, okay. Probably they have something else cooking. Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman's a guy that's funny. Kell Brook had called out Terrence Crawford. Bob Barham was pretty interested in that fight. So it could very much be that Terrence Crawford has a good fight on the horizon. Hopefully it works out and crystallizes with probably either Manny Pacquiao or probably with Kell Brook. Why I think Bomac wouldn't be interested in a fight like that is because Keith Thurman just lost. Why would he just talked about not facing Sean Porter because Sean Porter was coming off a loss, and they've been pretty consistent in my opinion. I mean, Keith Thurman's coming off a loss. Why would I want to face a guy that just came off a loss? So that's one way of looking at it. Of course, I think they should look into it. They shouldn't just shut the door on that. It should be like, okay, Keith Thurman's drumming at the door. Okay, we'll look into it. That's how Leonard Ellerbe would probably have done it. But I don't think. I mean, the best bet right now is somebody who hasn't lost, so it's not coming off a loss. Kell Brook, Dennis Ugas got a fight coming up. Errol Spencer's got a fight coming up. Sean Porter has a fight coming up. So see how they do in their fights first. But see what KP from KC is saying here. Bud don't want to fight nobody. Check it out. They said they working on Manny with people in Qatar. When the hell any of those work out? Well, yeah, there you go. So you have the Manny Pacquiao fight that they're trying to get. I mean, everybody's trying to get Manny Pacquiao, so why not? I mean, I'm not mad at them per se. But that's Bomac. Bomac's his manager, trainer, but my thing is Bud should really be handling his affairs and decide who he wants and go after them. So if it's the Pacquiao fight, Pacquiao surpasses Thurman. Pacquiao just beat Thurman, so why not? If they could get the Pacquiao fight, they should get the Pacquiao fight. If they could get the Kell Brook fight, they should get the Kell Brook fight. Whatever happens, if they can get the Pacquiao fight, they should do it. Bomac said Kell Brook is damaged. And no to that man, they don't want to fight nobody. They out of their fucking mind. Kell Brook is not damaged. Kell Brook is good backup again. So, when you're making negotiations, sometimes certain things fall through. So, they should really check out Kell Brook or Keith Thurman. And if Keith Thurman can't get them and Kell Brook can't get them, then they probably should do a fight with each other. Keith Thurman versus Kell Brook. Simple. You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens. Now, if Terrence Crawford fights another dud and he kind of was dismissive of Kell Brook and Keith Thurman, then that's fucked up. You can't put all your eggs in one basket, and just be focused on the Pacquiao fight. You should have some backup stuff. So hopefully they get the Pacquiao fight. That'll be good for them. Hopefully they can get that. Any fights ever happen in Qatar is my point. Pac-Man ain't gonna fight him. That's a pipe dream. You never know, man. I'm gonna say this. If there's no random blood and urine testing and drug testing, Pacquiao might be on board. You never know. It's Qatar. So we'll see. I mean, Boxing Monster, what's up? KP is a PBC fanboy. Salute what you need. I mean, I'm not gonna put no label on KP from KC. You know, I'm not gonna put no label on nobody up in here. I get where KP from KC is coming from. You know, it's gonna be weird if, you know, they say they pursuing this pack fight. Some other guys are starting to call out Bud. But then again, you see, Keith Thurman's always full of shit. So you can never know if Keith Thurman's serious or if he's just full of shit. And Kell Brook also is full of shit. We learned that pretty quickly. So, you know, those guys might be saying they want to offer, but really they're just bullshitting. They're just stirring up noise. So you can't really know how serious them guys really are. You know what I'm saying? They say they're pursuing a Pacquiao fight, but we hearing Pacquiao might face Mikey Garcia. So I don't know. You know? It's how good the negotiations turn out to be, I guess. I would prefer Pacquiao face Terrence Crawford than Mikey Garcia. But I can't tell Pacquiao what to do. You know, I can't tell him what to do. So we'll see. I mean, that's just me as a fight fan. But honestly, Pacquiao done enough. So it doesn't really matter what he do from here on in. Like I said before, I give him the blind. That's just how I feel about it. You know, but yeah, this is what Amir Khan said about Terrence Crawford. I know a lot of you guys feel he's overhyped, but he's not really overhyped. Up to Mayweather said that he's pound for pound the number one fighter in the world. Leonard Ellerby reiterated it, I think, a couple of days ago. KP from KC says, let's see if it happens. Top Rank been putting out crap fights. You can say what you want. Let's see if it will drop. See, the whole thing with see if Top Rank make any fights. See, the thing with Top Rank and Bob Arum is this, right? That Bob Arum has a history of blowing breeze. A history of blowing smoke up our ass. Every now and then he brings a good fight. You know, this Lomachenko Teofimo Lopez looks like it's on. We'll see. You know, right now, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 3. Shit look like it's going to hell. You know, this is the thing with Top Rank. You know, Bob Arum is a notorious liar. If y'all don't know. But anyway, that's another story for another day. What fight you looking forward to, Boxing Monster? Boxing Monster says, I'm looking forward to Fury versus White. Oops. I'm looking forward to Loma versus Lopez. That should be a good one, maybe. Well, the first thing we got to know is if it's actually going to be on. You know, the way how it's been going, I don't know. Some shit could come up in between, you know what I'm saying? But we got, you know, Top Rank was talking about Fury versus White, Fury versus Wilder. Fury ain't want to face neither. It looks like. And Bob Arum doesn't seem to have a problem with it, but he's trying to push for the fight with Wilder. We'll see how it goes. There's some crappy things that happen in boxing, man. But that's the problem with boxing to some degree. But we'll see how it goes. On the PBC ad, we got to see, because sometimes they advertise some of the great fights and then all of a sudden somebody gets COVID-19 positive. I don't know if it's a convenience or what, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that bugs me about this boxing is that all of a sudden something just comes as a spoke in the wheel. Look, Roy Jones Jr., Mike Tyson was supposed to happen September 12th. Pushed all the way back to November the what? It was November 20-something. Something like that. And then Teofimo Lopez versus Lomachenko's moved up to October 3rd or 7th or something like that. So, you know, it's this kind of crazy stuff that be happening. KP from KC says, remember they said they need a stadium before Mayweather versus Pac-Man? Yeah, man. Bob Arum was just saying a whole set of shit. I was just watching actually today. Alex Ariza came out and was exposing Bob Arum, and then somewhere in January, Bob Arum said the fight was made. And then he came out again and he talked about how Um, they can't have it on. They can't have it on Cinco de Mayo. You know, that's a Mexican holiday, and really, if you're not Mexican, you should have to fight on a Mexican holiday. Like Bob Arum was saying a whole set of shit, okay, that made no damn sense. I remember Todd DeBuff came out and said, "I don't know what's wrong with this man." He like trying to sabotage the shit at every turn. Bob Arum. So that's the problem with Bob Arum. You know, you just can't trust him. Um, and he's been that way for God knows how long. So I understand the perception that Bob Arum is just keeping Terrence Crawford from fighting other fighters in his division, and not just PBC fighters, but just other fighters. Period. Jesse Vargas is not a PBC fighter right now. He's with DAZN. They don't seem to want to fight with Jesse Vargas, so Mikey Garcia took it. You know, Mikey Garcia is not a PBC fighter right now. Well, he's not in the PBC at present. You can call him a PBC fighter if you want. And Terrence ain't even saying he want to fight with Mikey. You know what I mean? KL Brooks not a PBC fighter. I mean, while the majority of the top welterweights right now with PBC, you know who's another guy? Ray Robinson's not with PBC. You know, and Ray Robinson was exposing the bullshit that was going on. Mean Machine drew with Ray Robinson. Everybody know Ray Robinson beat Mean Machine at that time. Okay? But Mean Machine, without having a rematch with Ray Robinson, suddenly gets the Terrence Crawford fight. He draws with, you remember what happened with, and this is again, Top Rank again. Remember when Zab Judah lost to Carlos Baldomir? Instead of Floyd facing Carlos Baldomir, who he faced? Zab Judah, right? It's a good fight, but nonetheless, he faced Zab Judah. Then he had to go, after he came out of Top Rank, and he faced Carlos Baldomir. Was this ass backward shit that be happening sometimes with some of these promotional companies? It's not exclusive to Top Rank, where they push their agenda regardless. All right, Ray Robinson was supposed to be a doormat. He was supposed to get knocked the fuck out because he had faced Dennis Ugas. I think it was the fight before and got knocked out. Something like that. I can't remember. But the point is, Ray Robinson was calling out Terrence Crawford. So he has, and Ray Robinson is not a PBC fighter. So there are people for Terrence Crawford to face instead of fucking duds. All right. Okay. So Terrence Crawford has a number of people who are actually calling him out. I don't know what happens behind the scenes. I don't know how much money they would want, whatever. But one thing I do know is he has people he can face, or at least people are proposing to him. You know what I'm saying? Boxing KP from KC says to Boxing Monster, good luck with the Top Rank schedule. It's a hella trash. I mean, what I liked about Top Rank, not to try and disrespect them, is that they tried to bring out boxing and battle the COVID-19. So I thought that was a beautiful thing. Okay. But yes, Showtime probably has the best set of fights right now lined up for this year. Then comes, I guess, ESPN, and then comes DAZN. I think DAZN doesn't have the best fights lined up for this year. I think. I had to think about it. I think it's DAZN. Stephen Cost. Shout out to Stephen Cost, says November 29th. COVID can't stop Kid Dynamite. All right. I don't know who that is, but shout out to Kid Dynamite. Boxing Monster says, I'm not a fanboy of any promotional company. I don't cape for Top Rank or DAZN. They don't put money in my pockets. I criticize all equally. Okay. I don't see how Bud trusts Bob Arum. He had Manny and didn't give him the fight. Now all of a sudden he's going to try and make it with people in Qatar during COVID-19. How they going to even fly to Qatar is another story. I mean, it's You know Bob be talking out his ass. He don't care. Bob don't give a fuck. KB from KC5. Pac-Man versus Bud gotta have a live gate and be on pay-per-view. It's logical. So probably they could do that in Qatar. I don't know. Hashtag Bud Light. I mean, Bud is such a hell of a fighter. It's kind of sad his situation, but I guess that's the way how that'll work out. We'll see how it'll all work out in the end. But he should be getting top tier, top quality opponents since 2018. And Bob's just giving them shit from his stable and every now and then some kind of weak ass competition. So Bud can't really, there's always this asterisk on Bud for the last fucking set of years. Meanwhile, Lomachenko getting everything he want, and fucking Tyson Fury getting everything he want. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it goes with Bob Arum. I don't understand why Bud doesn't just leave Bob Arum. I don't give a fuck that you got Andre Ward around you and James Prince around you. That's cool. Those are cool dudes and everything. But you're not getting the fucking fights, and your life's just going down the drain. You know what I mean? Anyway, sorry about the F-bombs. It's just I'm a bit frustrated about it. Because he has so much ability and skill, and his shit just going to shit right now. And I could tell he's frustrated as well. Qatar has just built 10 new stadiums for the next World Cup. They have new stadiums. They might pay a ridiculous amount of money to get Manny Pacquiao. Man, I hope Bud lands somebody, because right now the shit's going to the shitter, and he just got to be patient. Yeah, I don't know why he rode with Bob Arum. Maybe it'll pay off. Who knows? Stephen Coast. Bob Arum worked in the Justice Department, felt that work wasn't cut out for him, and decided to turn to boxing. Do the math. I hear you, brother. KV from KC5 says, go listen to Bomac on the Boxing Voice. He'll tell you in the interview. Stephen Cost says, you don't know who Kid Dynamite is? Nope, don't know who he is. Tell me who he is. Tell me who he is, man. But it is what it is. I know there's a number of fighters signed to Top Rank. Top Rank's got some good talent. They just recently had the kid from Africa. So they have to have some good talent. Otto Bitterbf right now, he's signed with Top Rank. So maybe they got perks for them. Whatever they did to woo those guys across there, it's going. Stephen Cost says, Mike motherfucking Tyson. Oh, I never knew he was called Kid Dynamite. I know him as Iron Mike Tyson. Okay, November 29th. They moved it to November 29th. Okay. Cool, man. Hey, it was supposed to be a short video. It's a little bit longer. It's okay. You guys really are up pretty late, but it's cool. I just wanted to talk about this, what Amir Khan had said. And you guys have been talking, y'all chatting about a little bit about boxing and stuff. My thing about boxing is this. I know it's COVID-19 environment. I understand it's kind of a bit uncertain and all of that. But my thing is this. It's important that in boxing that the playing field gets a lot more. Ellie Seckback was actually talking about this in his video before. That it's not only giving the fans the fights that they want to see, but a lot of times the A side with these big behemoth promotional companies, they get their way. Ray Robinson was supposed to win the last two fights he had. The fight against Josh Kelly, he beat Josh Kelly. The fight against Mean Machine, he beat Mean Machine. He was supposed to be facing Terrence Crawford. Now, I'm not saying he would have beaten Terrence Crawford, no. But I'm just saying it would have been, a much more interesting fight. But I just feel like the machine is such in boxing that these promoters have their way. Not all the time, but they do. And when they don't have their way, they make a lot of noise, and sometimes undeservedly so. And it's a grimy, dirty business, so I understand. But I'm just saying that that's the problem with the sport to some degree. the greed of certain promoters that sabotage the whole process of boxing. And some of these promoters, they just got no fucking ethics, none whatsoever. And they try to persuade you or get you to believe what they're saying. You know, you got Eddie Hearn of Matchroom, and he can't mesh with Frank Warren. You know what I'm saying? He said Frank Warren's constantly trying to sabotage him. You know, and then we have, of course, um, shit, Lou. What's his name? Lou. I forgot what his name is. Uh, the promoter for Danny Jacobs, right? Not Lou Duva, is he? Lou, whatever. He's another promoter out there. Stephen Cost says 1985 cover Sports Illustrated show Mike Tyson in Cuss Peekaboo's position. The title of the issue was Kid Dynamite. Cool. I didn't see that. I don't always see every issue of every magazine. So I would just know that you probably was more in that time than I was up to speed at that time. But yeah, excuse me, man. I gotta take a little 5 here. I'm kind of tired, but yeah, Mike Tyson, great fighter and everything. Facing Roy Jones Jr. should be a good fight. Don't count out Roy. Don't count out Roy at all. The fact that Mike Tyson is facing Roy Jones Jr. is a wonderful thing because Roy, everybody would think that because Mike Tyson's so much bigger, he's just gonna run over Roy. Y'all gonna get the shock of your life. Y'all gonna get shocked. And Mike Tyson, he's a little bit afraid that he look embarrassed, that he goes out there like a pit bull and Roy ends up controlling him. So he don't want to look stupid either. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good fight. I don't know. They look like they're going out there to nuke each other, but I don't think they're gonna knock each other out. I think that fight's gonna go the distance. They'll and you'll decide who the winner is because there's no judges for the exhibition. But it should be a good ass fight. You'll see Mike Tyson do his thing and Roy do his thing. I think, but I don't think they're gonna knock each other out. As much as people thinking that Mike will knock out Roy, that's kind of hard to do. You have to find the rhythm of the other fighter. If you don't have that other fighter's rhythm, and Roy is a guy that his rhythm's hard to find out. It's not as easy as you think. So it's gonna be a tough fight for Mike, but he's gonna do pretty good. He'll show up. He'll show up. Roy's gonna get hit by him. That's for sure. Well, I guess Roy's prepping for that. But Mike will show up. He ain't got nothing to be ashamed of. That's his first fight back. It's gonna be his first fight back. Doing anything. Excuse me. Doing anything in the boxing ring in like forever. So, you have to give Mike a break. Don't expect him to just come out and be able to just blaze Roy like that. That's I don't think that's ever gonna happen. Roy's not gonna allow that to happen. So and Roy doesn't back down from nobody. He not backing down. Roy's a bad boy. Uh, and Roy's attention is definitely going to be zoned in on Mike Tyson. He's definitely going to be up for this fight. Stephen Costas wants to talk a lot about Mike Tyson. He said, look at him this year. Tell me what the differences are. With Mike Tyson? Well, we don't have enough of him. We haven't seen enough of him to be able to tell you what the differences are. But I can tell you right now, he a hell of a lot older. They carrying him through the motions, but he's a hell of a lot older, and he'll realize that really soon. See, when you get older, see if he, well, there's a number of different things you guys just don't understand. If you're not in boxing and you're not taking punishment, or you're not training yourself to take punishment, when you do get hit, it's a whole other level of pain. If you always taking the punishment and you're always in the boxing all the time and you're boxing year round, you get used to it. But as you get older, and you get, just think about it. You know, there's a lot of muscle memory that's involved in boxing, but that's not the problem. See, like when you're doing pads and stuff, right? There's so much to say about boxing. Well, let me try to make this simple for you guys. So when you're doing pads, you could look explosive and everything on pads, right? Forget about the fact that the pads don't hit you back. The important thing is you're running a routine. All right, you're running a set. In an actual fight, the rhythm and the timing of the flow of the fight is totally different to doing pad work. Pad work gives you muscle memory to remind you of what your trademark things are, right? But in an actual fight, you're using so much more energy, and it's just different. You know, how you position your body and everything, you have to make adjustments to the positioning of your body in space and moving around the ring and that kind of stuff. So, because your opponent may be a different distance to where the pads were. You understand what I'm saying? It's like shooting hoops in a ring. That's different to actually playing in the game and scoring a point, because what? There's somebody there to defend against you and you have to get past them. So while you're practicing your shots, shooting stuff into a ring, right? That's one thing. Maybe you can nail all your shots. It's another thing when in a game, in the action, dribbling the ball, dealing with the defense, setting plays, you get the ball and then you shoot. It's different. Well, it's the same thing with boxing. You know, doing pad work is one thing. That's like shooting the ball to a hoop, drills. But it's another thing to put it all together. Sparring kind of helps you put it all together. But it's nothing like an actual fight. Sparring is not like an actual fight. So Roy actually has a head start on that because his last professional fight was 2 years ago. Mike Tyson's last professional fight was 15 years ago. He has a lot of catching up to do. So that's one big thing. And then another big thing, which is not apparent, because you look at Mike Tyson's physique, he looks great, but his conditioning. You can't just wake up. This is the thing with Tank. Tank is playing catch up to Leo Santa Cruz. You can't just do conditioning for one fucking training camp. That's not conditioning. You got to be in conditioning all the time. See, Roy is constantly training guys. He's constantly active. Tyson just got off the couch and decided to go train. He's got a lot catching up to do versus Roy. And Roy's going to be faster than Tyson. He's just going to be a naturally quicker guy in there because he comes from a lower weight class. So smaller guys move faster and they're more precise in their movements. Mike Tyson's amazing for a heavyweight, but the heavyweights he's been facing are not very fast. Not fast like Roy. So Roy's speed is going to be a big factor in this fight. So there's just a lot of things that a lot of people haven't observed. They just think about the mythos of Mike Tyson and how great he was and everything. But they're not thinking this is a 54-year-old guy. And he's in phenomenal shape for a 54-year-old. Phenomenal shape. But his conditioning is a 54-year-old's conditioning. You know what I'm saying? He's doing well for a 54-year-old. Whereas Roy Jones Jr.'s conditioning is more like a 40-something-year-old, even though he's 51. Because he's always been active. So that's the difference. So you have to be able to understand these things in boxing. Okay. Um, Roy has been knocked out more, and somewhat recently, about the last 7 8 years, he's been knocked out. But he's been knocked out against professional opponents at a high level. Mike Tyson and Roy have not been fighting at a high level. Roy has been marked to Mike Tyson. So there's a lot of things. And if Roy's a cerebral fighter. He's not like none of the opponents that Mike Tyson's faced. Maybe the closest thing to Roy Mike Tyson has faced is Lennox Lewis. You know, and Lennox has nothing. He's nowhere near on the reaction time, quickness, speed, technical ability of a Roy Jones Jr. He just not. Just what it is. So there's a lot to process when we're talking about this. A lot. You know, and I look at the drills that Roy is doing. He's working on his power to make sure and keep Tyson honest. And then he's working on technique and different skill sets that he's going to incorporate in that fight. So it's not an easy fight for Tyson. A lot of people, you know. Be nice to see Mike Tyson out there though. And he will not let anybody down. And Roy won't let you down either. Hopefully from that will come a lot of other veterans of the sport doing that thing. I know Julio Cesar Chavez versus Jorge Arce was great. Watching those two guys go at it. And again, Chavez was the much bigger guy. Steph Cole says, for real, yep, muscle memory is key. That's the point of drills, to get better. Fights are different, you make adjustments. But when you have the type of upper body and head movement, it doesn't matter. You have to get the timing and rhythm of your opponent. You have to get the timing, your own timing and rhythm in the ring. So that's what, I guess you guys don't understand what ring rust is and all of that stuff. You don't understand that stuff. So it is what it is. Mike Tyson's last professional fight was in 1988. No, it wasn't. Okay, but the conditioning can get shot by one shot. No, that's my point. Your punch resistance and everything is part of your conditioning. So if you're a well-conditioned athlete, ain't nobody just going to stop you just like that. You got to understand boxing, man. You got to understand boxing. Mike Tyson could never knock out Evander Holyfield. Never. Evander Holyfield was a well-conditioned athlete. Well-conditioned athlete. You know? So you got to understand, when I talk about conditioning, a well-conditioned athlete can take shots that a not so well-conditioned athlete cannot take. Okay? They just can't take those kinds of shots. So that's why I said with Tank versus Leo Santa Cruz, Tank's not going to take out Leo just like that. It's not going to happen. Leo's too well-conditioned. Tank is not as well-conditioned as Leo, and he's not going to do it in one training session either. Mike Tyson is smoking marijuana. He's smoking weed. He putting clouds of dust in his lungs. That's not going to help him. I mean, these are just, you know, you gotta keep your body pure. Stephen Cost says RJJ takes more risks. Nah. RJJ is a safety's first kind of fighter. It's just that his infighting skills were not so good. He was getting hit when he should not get hit in certain places, and he's getting stopped. But he'll be on point for this fight, that's for sure. He'll be on point for this fight. Stephen Cost says sometimes he paid for that in his career. I wouldn't say it's an easy fight for either fighter. No, it's not. It's not an easy fight for either fighter. But I can guarantee you the fighter who implements the better game plan is going to win that fight. When Custer and Kevin Rooney were in King Dynamite's corner, nothing could stop him. Well, yeah, Customato was an old teacher from the old school. Customato was a tricky guy. Smart fighter, smart trainer too. So, of course, I mean, Mike is not the 1985 Mike. 1985 to 1989, Mike Tyson was something. It was something. Uh, he still went the distance with um, Tucker and with Bone Crusher Smith and with was it Tillis? No, it wasn't Tillis. Went the distance with a couple guys. Yeah, and and showed it was well conditioned too to go the distance with them. But Mike is a Mike's a phenom. You know, all he's got to do is Mike don't got to do much to get everybody on his side. Mike just got to come in there with tenacity, do what he do, be Mike Tyson, and people are gonna just be excited, regardless. Because the one thing about this exhibition, there's no unanimous decision winner or anything like that. So, you know, if somebody gets knocked out, well, that's totally different. But I suspect that this is just my suspicion that both guys are going to come in such great shape that they're not going to knock each other out. I don't think so. Steve says not at all. He's focused right now. Got his mind right. I think he'll go easy on RJJ. Mike Tyson don't know how to go easy on anybody, so that's not going to happen. He's going to go hard. They're going to go hard. But I just believe that age is going to play a major factor in this fight. So they're going to show their age a little bit later on, but it's not gonna affect the fight to the extent where it's not gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting. It's just that they're gonna show their age. They're gonna show their age. But legends, man, legends only. Looking forward to that, and I truly believe that why I'm going to buy the pay-per-view is because Antrilla is because I always wanted to see what would happen if Mike Tyson faced Roy Jones Jr. I always wanted to see what would happen. I kind of suspect I know what would happen, but I, I wanted to see it anyway. You know. Stephen Costa says, have a good sleep, brother. They're going to come in the best shape they've been in years. Both of them are motivated, hardworking, invigorated. Oh, it's going to be a hell of a fight, man. It's going to be a hell of a fight. Somebody gets stopped, that would be cool. I'm not going to lie. But it's going to be a hell of a fight. I'm looking forward to it. And may the best man win. May the best man win. It's an exciting thing for, I think, especially casuals out there and people who don't always watch boxing. It's going to be exciting. I've been talking about Roy quite a lot as because, the phenomenal boxer that he is, and seeing that he would be the underdog in this fight. I think, I wanted to talk about him a bit, but Mike Tyson, man, did so much for the sport of boxing. He brought incredible excitement to the sport of boxing. This guy used to get people out of there, and within the first round, they're gone. A couple of seconds, and they're gone. So I get. You don't know he's the unanimous decision. There's not gonna be no unanimous decision. There's no judges. It's an exhibition. They don't have no judges for the fight. So if it goes the distance, it just goes the distance. There's not going to be announced a winner or anything. Both guys will be winners. It's an exhibition. It's about showcasing skills. So you'll see Roy's skills on display. You'll see Tyson's skills on display. Of course, Roy would want to knock out Tyson. Tyson would want to knock out Roy. But if they can't get a knockout, no problem. So, oh yeah, Roy would be the underdog in this fight because most people think that Roy would get knocked out by Tyson because Tyson's big. He's gonna be bigger than him. You know, that kind of thing. But I don't think he's the underdog in this fight. I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all. But time will truly tell. But it's good to at the public perception that Roy's sort of like this guy who's going to get slayed by the great powerful Mike Tyson. A lot of people think that Mike Tyson's going to get the knockout he wants because got this little guy. He's going little guy that came up to heavyweight once and did something. So everybody's thinking, oh yeah, Mike Tyson, he got this little guy to knock out, and this little guy been knocked out before, so he definitely not gonna knock him out. Nope. No, this little guy is something else. He's a phenomenal little guy, and it's gonna be an interesting fight. And Mike Tyson definitely gonna be motivated because he picked the little guy. I don't know why he picked the little guy. He could have picked Evander Holyfield. He could have picked, Roy could have picked Bernard Hopkins. Nope, they decided to face each other. So we got it. You got the little guy versus the big guy, and the little guy gonna be ready. I can tell you that. Everybody gonna know why. Y'all must have forgot about Roy Jones Jr. Y'all gonna know why Roy is Roy and why Mike is Mike. By the end of the night, y'all gonna realize why Mike is Mike and why Roy is Roy. Because Mike's gonna go in there and do his thing. He could definitely gonna touch Roy. Roy's gonna get touched up, but Roy's gonna be smart enough to know what he should get touched by and what he won't, what was not good for him to get touched by. So yeah. All right, peoples. I am tired, as you can see. My eyes are red, so I'm gonna go in my bed and sleep. But I'm gonna catch you guys later. I'm what you need. I'm glad you guys were in here. Shout out to each and every one of you that came through. Stephen Costa is much smaller than RJJ. RJJ came up from cruiserweight, super middleweight. Mike was always a heavyweight, a short, statured heavyweight. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, I'm talking about smaller in weight. So yeah, Roy was a cruiserweight. Probably he gonna come in. Roy will come in 190 something. So yeah. I'm gonna catch you guys later. I'm what you need. Peace.